Hey, what's up, you guys? The Dark Knight back with another video, and today we're going to take a look at the Marvel Legends series Deadpool Wolverine movie, Cassandra Nova. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you guys if you feel so inclined to please like and subscribe. It really does help my channel and is absolutely free. Take a look at the packaging over here. It's pretty much the exact same thing we've seen with all the other Marvel Legends Deadpool Wolverine figures. You got Marvel Legends series at the top of there, Cassandra Nova, Deadpool Wolverine at the bottom. You got a nice backdrop over there with some scribbles and sketches from Deadpool, I presume. At the side over here, you got the Winter Must Continue Along Marvel Legends series, Cassandra Nova, along with the digital render of the Cassandra Nova figure. The other side sees that same digital render, Cassandra Nova, Marvel Legends series. At the back, you got a nice description of the character. If you want to read it, you can go ahead and pause it now. Marvel Legends series, Cassandra Nova, the same digital render, along with all the other figures you can collect inside this wave, a bunch of copyright and legal information. Deadpool Wolverine movie at the top. At the bottom, you got a bunch of other legalese, along with the UPC code. All right, so Cassandra Nova. I don't really know much about this character, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, so this will be super quick. I am aware that she is the sister to Professor X, Charles Xavier, and that's about the extent of what I'm knowledgeable of. But obviously, she was pretty great in the movie. She was a very formidable villain, as she does pretty much carry the same powers that Professor X does. And the only real way was to stop her was to basically kill her with the Juggernaut helmet to stop her from using her powers. But she was really good in the movie. I thought she was really creepy, and obviously I loved how she would, to quote Deadpool, mind all kinds of different characters, and we do see that representation with this figure here. We'll get into that. As for accessories over here, we can see that she does come with two pairs of hands total, and an extra head accessory slash hand accessory, which is a pretty interesting accessory over here. So yeah, with the extra hands, you pretty much got two open hands, which is pretty nice. Then you got a fisted hand for the right hand, and a kind of like a mind touching hand for the left hand. And then yeah, you got this pretty interesting accessory over here that is made for the left hand, but it's kind of universal. You can put it to whichever hand and it'll look just as good. And this is, to quote Deadpool, the mind head sculpt, where she is controlling Paradox over here with her abilities. And this is great. This is such a cool accessory. This is what drew me into the figure, was this head sculpt over here, and you can pretty much add any suited body to it, so you're basically getting two figures in one. Very, very cool decision from Hasbro over here. Very creative, and yeah, this is such a cool accessory. I absolutely love this. Taking out the figure itself over here, and I do think it did a pretty good job on the likeness. I do believe the actress name is Emma Corrin, and it does look pretty much how she did in the movie, at least in my opinion. You can let me know what you think in the comments down below. But she does have a pretty standard, kind of design for a costume over here. It's basically just a trench coat. So nothing too crazy going on with it. The coat itself looks pretty good. It does go in with the arms over here. It's a separate plastic piece, and it does translate pretty well. So I'd say that the plastic that they chose for this is pretty good. You can notice here, though, that as the inside of the shirt over here is white, you can kind of see that as it goes along here. Though it's kind of like different colors in the middle of that there, but anyway, just one thing to note about that. But she's got nice inside to the shirt over here, which looks pretty good. A lot of this design for the costume over here looks like it was taken from a sorcerer, as she does use the sling rings in the movie, to cast out portals and such. Because that logo right there looks like it's from Doctor Strange in some way. So maybe there was a sorcerer that came by and she stole the clothing to them. I'm not exactly sure, but pretty interesting detail there. The pants over here look pretty good as well too. All this, jacket is a soft plastic, so hopefully articulation wise, it's not too bad. The boots over here look pretty good as well too. You got all the laces going out through it. You probably could have used a bit of a wash going on with this figure, but overall, I think the sculpting and the proportion details going on over here is pretty good. And they do got a little bit of treads at the bottom of the feet over here, along with two peg holes. As for articulation, there is a bit lacking when it comes to the trench coat and the head over here. So the head only really has one joint, and that's in the bottom of the neck here. There's nothing at the top. And, it's kind of sacrificing just for the accuracy, I guess, of the sculpting in this, as it is, pretty clean. But, can't really get her to look up at all. Now, I don't really know if that really matters for this character specifically, but that is one thing to note. She can look down. Whoa, she can look down pretty good, though, and yeah, have her head pop off. But that is a possibility too there. Yeah, she can look down like that. She can pivot one way and pivot the other way, and look left and right. So yeah, it's enough for me at least. Arms do move up pretty good, so you can move about there. You have up down. You have no bicep swivel, but there's a swivel in the elbow. There is a single jointed elbow there as well too. So 90 degrees is basically what you're getting with this. You got a swivel at the hand, does hinge up and down. You have no waist articulation over here other than a small ball joint. So this ball joint will let her look down about that much. She can look back, but then doesn't really want her to go back because of the jacket. And then she can also pivot one way and pivot the other way. So it's a bit of articulation there, but it's extremely hindered. I'll just say that. She can't kick up about that much. She can kick back and on angle, but again, the jacket is going to hinder that. She can do the splits, if we want to see here. It's about there, so that's not too bad either. You got some thigh articulation, which is a swivel here, and then some knee articulation, which is a double joint. I can only move about there. Yeah, I don't know about that. But anyway, you got some ankle articulation, which is down, up, and pivot, along with a hidden boot swivel. As for comparison today, we do have Cassandra Nova next to all the other figures I reviewed in this wave. Be sure to go check out those videos as well too. And yeah, she's looking pretty good compared to the rest of them. I do believe she's a bit on the shorter scale as it is. So, being around the area that X23 is over here, I think is pretty good. And yeah, as you can see again, very, very cool accessory there. Love that so much. As for a bonus over here, we have her next to her brother, Charles Xavier, over here. They look pretty good together, along with the original Deadpool figure that I have here as well, too. And yeah, I think she looks pretty good with them. If you do want to compare this figure to some figures you have at home, we can see over here that she does stand at just over 5.5 inches tall. All right, so final thoughts on this Cassandra Nova. Yeah, I don't know what to feel about this. I really only got this figure because I absolutely loved the inclusion of the Paradox head with it. I thought that was a super creative thing from Hasbro, and it just made this figure that much more worth getting. 'Cause, as I said, it's basically two figures in one, which is so awesome. But I can also see the argument as well too that this figure itself is not the greatest thing ever. Articulation is super limited, and although the sculpting and proportions are pretty good on it, it's kind of minimalistic on the paint detailing. Could have used maybe a wash throughout the figure, but I know that that's not really Hasbro's thing. So any customizers out there would probably be able to do a pretty good thing with this figure here. But that the head sculpt's pretty good. It looks like how she did in the movie. And I also do think that the Paradox head sculpt is really good as well too, even though it's an additional accessories. So kind of torn on this one over here. This is not really like one that you need to get, obviously, because she was kind of like a one and done villain for the Deadpool Wolverine movie. So I wouldn't see any like MCU completionists needing to go out and get this figure. But it is a pretty cool thing that they've done with this Paradox head sculpt. It's really up to you at the end of the day if you want to spend your money on this. But as for the figure itself, for a rating, I think I would probably stick with a 7 out of 10. Really just suffering from the articulation on this one. I think they could have done a little better there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. How do you like this figure? How do you like my review? And as every YouTuber begs you to do, please like and subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.